Hello, welcome back to Cascadia Inswinger. I'm your host, John Floresca, here with my co-host, Eddie Smith, and we just got done watching the Portland Timbers advance to the MLS is Back semifinals. They beat New York City FC by the tune of 3-1. They will be facing the Philadelphia Union in the next round. We will give you that preview in just a moment. We want to tell you our thoughts about NYCFC and Portland. It was a 3-1, pretty solid victory for Portland. Eddie, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was an unbelievable match by Portland, especially with not having a terrible amount of possession in this match. It was 61-39 in favor of New York City FC. But my man of the match in this one was definitely Blanco. Just unbelievable in this one with another assist, having an assist in every match so far in this tournament, and kicking Portland off with a beautiful tying goal that just curled around the entire defense. Just unbelievable.
He had another stellar game. He keeps putting stellar game after stellar game together. If I'm going to say when, because I'm that confident, when Portland wins this thing, he is going to be the MVP of the tournament. It's just been that solid of a performance for him. NYCFC was able to get on the board first, however. I do think they were fairly lucky in their goal, though.
For sure. Mabiala, I think, definitely was wronged by the referee in this one, giving up a very soft penalty in the box. Both guys were going after the ball, fighting with each other. It was definitely 50-50, where I felt like, for me, it should have been a no call and just let the ball go out of bounds for a goal kick.
I couldn't agree more. Unfortunately for Portland, it ended up leading to the only goal by Jesus Medina. But I'm very happy that the soccer gods did not let that goal determine this game, because it would have been unfair to Portland, because they're having a great tournament, and to go out on a soft call would have been very, very sad. Luckily for them, they played their way back into this game. They ended up getting a 3-1 win. The other two goals came from Diego Valeri and Andy Polo. Both players came off the bench. That's great news for Savarese and the Timbers, being able to bring players off the bench and get wins. What do you think about the fact that Diego Valeri is coming off the bench, Eddie?
Well, it kind of reminds me of how Clint Dempsey was coming off the bench for the Sounders towards the end of his career. Only difference is Valeri is having more of an impact, I think, for Portland than Dempsey did coming off the bench for the Sounders. And it's great for Portland. I think he has become a super sub for Portland right now. I know he would much rather be starting the matches, but at his age, he's not going to be able to play a full 90 anymore. But he's still going out there and producing and getting it done when the rest of the team on the other side is tired, and still making an impact.
It shows how committed he is to this Timbers team to come off the bench and still play as hard as he does. The announcers during the game were giving him a ton of credit, saying that if there's going to be a statue outside of Providence Park in Portland, it's got to be Diego Valeri's. The guy is just a class act, absolute great player. And at the start of the season, when he was talking about his role, they were saying that he's quoted as saying he's going to do whatever he is asked to by his coach to help this team win. If that means coming off the bench, then he will come off the bench. So I know that was a tactical adjustment for this game, because they were playing off of 2 days less rest than NYC. They will get the same amount of rest, or pretty close to the same amount of rest, as Philly for their game on Wednesday. I do think Valeri will still come off the bench just because it's been so effective, but I'm looking forward to this game on Wednesday.
It's going to be a fun one, especially with Philadelphia being one of the younger teams. It's definitely not going to be our typical Philadelphia versus Portland matchup. Portland has won 6 of the last 10 matchups between Philadelphia. I don't think that's going to be the case in this matchup. That being said, I do think Portland will still get a victory out of this, but it's going to be tougher than matches of the past.
Yes, this is not your Philadelphia Union team of old. This is a very young, very athletic team. They've got 11 players who play as a team. any single one of them can and will make a good play against you. So you got to look out for all of them. That being said, Portland is a veteran squad. They can totally handle a team like Philly. They they will give up the ball, they will give up possession against Philly, and they're totally fine with that. And they will hit Philly on the counter.
Yeah, some guys I'm really looking forward to seeing on the Philadelphia side. Sergio Santos, he's definitely going to be one of those guys that the Portland defense is going to definitely have to keep an eye on, as he can definitely put away goals. Also, one guy that you wanted to bring up was Bedoya, who has
Alejandro
been on.
Bedoya, he's their veteran, played for the men's national team. He's no longer on the team because of age, but he leads that midfield for them. The youngster that I'm really excited to watch for Philly and had a blast watching him against Sporting Kansas City is Brendan Aronson. The kid is only 19 years old. He's got one cap under his belt for the U.S. men's national team, but he's playing so well right now that he's actually getting looked at by teams in Europe. So if there's a kid to watch, he's the one.
It's definitely going to be a fun one, as Philadelphia, as one of the youngest lineups in the league. They don't know any better, and not going to know anyone on the other side of the field. They're just going to go out and play as hard as they can. They're not going to be intimidated. So it's going to be a tough one for Portland to go up against this Philadelphia side.
It is going to be a tough one for Portland, but I think they're going to come away with the win. I want to see another Cascadia team in the final. We've got 5 straight MLS Cups with the Cascadia in it. There's no reason why we couldn't have a Cascadia team in the final of this tournament. I've got Portland winning this one 2-1.
In the match between young and dumb and old and experienced, I think it's going to be a tight one. I think there's going to be 4 goals in this match, 2 for either side, and it's going to go to a PK. And even though it's going to be tough in PKs, I think Portland's going to prevail.
If you are correct and they go to PKs, I would put my house on Philly winning it in PKs, only because, hear me out, Philly's goalkeeper is an absolute beast. He plays for the Jamaican national team. If you have not heard of him, I'm sure you've seen a highlight of him somewhere. His name is Andre Blake. The dude can play in net. There's no doubt about that. So I hope your prediction is wrong, Eddie. I hope they don't go to PKs, because I would not want to bet against that kid.
Well, that's going to be our show. If you want to catch this match, it's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, August 5th. You can catch it on FS1, Fox Deportes, or TSN if you're up in Canada. Definitely check this match out. Going to be a fun one.
Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, follow us.